Hey everybody, what's going on? It's AoE here and welcome to my first ever Genshin video. And today we're going to be going over the brand new Imaginarium Theater update. With that being said, there's lots of new in this update. There's this brand new thing in the Imaginarium Theater called the Lunar Arcanum. And basically for completing up to Act 12, you can get all these different types of cards. You can only get one per reset, right? And basically these are tradable cards. You can trade them with your friends, stuff like that. 22 of them, and there's an achievement for it. Tons of collector stuff going on here. Also, new rewards going into the Imaginarium Theater. Just for completing up to Act 12, you get up to 200 more Primo Gems per reset, which is super nice, alongside a whole extra Sanctifying Elixir, which is super huge. And just for completing the mode for the first time, you get an extra 300. So super, super sick. With there being tons of really wanted and sought after rewards coming into the mode, I've decided I would make a guide for you. I'm going to be walking you guys through this mode, and yeah, let's get into it. So starting off in this mode, you're going to want to try to grab as many Geo characters as possible. There's a really easy mess up that you can make at the beginning, and that is taking on that Weasel with Veressa. Don't do it. You want to try to get one of the Fatui enemies. Okay, the Fatui guys are super easy to kill with the Geo characters that you get at the beginning. You do not want to be using a Trial Ito or a Trial Goro. Just get rid of these characters. You want to be saving a lot of your good characters for later, especially Veressa. Veressa is a really good character. You should not be using her this early on, right? So another thing that you're going to want to be doing early on is getting as many of the buffs as possible for Electrocharged and Geo and Hydro reactions. It's gonna help you a lot to clear this. It helped me a lot clearing it, and I didn't realize how much the Geo and Hydro one really helped, but it seriously helps. So I'd highly recommend upgrading that one a lot if you can, especially when it comes to getting to that one Geo boss at the end, and we'll be talking about him some more. And as you can see, these guys are going down super easily. And, you know, we're getting rid of our Vigor on Ito, Albedo, and all that, and we're going to keep on inviting people. Obviously, you got to be constantly inviting people, and we're going to get Mona in early. Now, the reason I wanted Mona in early is because she's super useful for the third stage. And obviously, we're going to be upgrading our reaction damage. Super important. And I'm kind of just going over some of these. This one in particular is decent, but I highly recommend doing this, the one with the Hydro Phantasm, if you do get it. Super easy to take out with Geo units. Get rid of those Geo units, some of your Geo units early. You don't need them. You really only need like a Navia for the end. Highly recommend. If you don't have Navia though, do save your Geo units, because otherwise you'll be in trouble. But as you can see, I'm just going in with a quad Geo team, and it takes this thing out pretty easily. I'm not going to lie. It takes a little bit of time to kill the Hydro guy, but after that, it's going to take another like one rotation to take out these Legatus Golems, I believe they're called, and they go down pretty quick. As you can see, just takes a little bit of time to get your energy going, and then Chiori's doll is focused on the other guy. As you can see, he's just going down over there. Zero effort, and they all go down, you know. Pretty easy 39-second clear, and we're going to pick up our Siege Wing here, and we're going to just keep on adding companions. We're trying to get our Nuvolette early. Trying to get our Nuvolette and our Inefa early on. So with that being said, we were out of flowers here. We couldn't get more, but we're going to just go in and we're going to try to take this thing out with our Veressa. And this is one of the stages where I'm like, okay, let's use our Veressa, let's use our Chiori. And then basically you can just flex whatever you want. And I used Mona here. Mona's really good for amplifying Veressa's damage early on. Because obviously you don't want to use Farina early on. So you're going to want to save Farina for later, especially that final boss. So some could say it was kind of a mistake of me picking her up this early. I should have probably picked another character, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, she was going to get used. And as you can see, this thing is going down without a hitch. It took a little bit of time, but, you know, it's going down here pretty easily. I've had way better clears. I've had like 14-second clears just because I had better units to go in with. But yeah, and then we got a Nefa there, which is really cool. And as I was mentioning, on the left there, we get that brand new, we get the new mode over here. And this one, we're going to use a Nuvolette and a Nefa team for. And we're just kind of waiting till we get all the characters set up. As for the enemies that we should try to go for here, basically we're just going to keep upgrading our reactions, and we're going to try to go for like an easier stage. Like we want an easy stage, and we're going to just, you know, keep on trying to go for Nuvolette, and we got him. So we're basically set here, and then there's 2 different stages that you can go for. Personally, this one I wouldn't recommend. The robots that fly around are really annoying. This one was also really annoying. Really wouldn't recommend it. I just had a lot of Hydro characters, so I thought, you know what, why not? This ended up taking forever for me, so I wouldn't recommend doing this one. This one was kind of a mistake draw, in my opinion. I think there was definitely a better option there. Hey guys, so I'm actually currently in the editing phase of this, and looking back on it, I really should not have picked this one. I really should have tried to reset and get the Samurai one, and you're just going to see how bad this looks to play. Like, this goes on and on and on for about 2 minutes. It feels like, and it's just because I don't have any real damage here, and these guys, like, it says it's weak against Hydro, but it's really like, I'm using the worst Hydro units ever. Ino and Siegeween are just both really crappy Hydro units, and I definitely should have tried to conserve my Hydro units for a little bit later on. And Hydro units are just really valuable in this Imaginarium theater in general. Like, as you can see, I'm literally just swapping between these characters. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like this is the most, like, dumb team I've played this theater yet. Like, this is just bad. Like, it felt bad to play. It wasn't fun to play. It was basically my throwaway floor, right? I basically just had to toss some units in the garbage here. Like, Mona goes in the trash here. Ino goes in the trash here. It's just basically a throwaway floor. The enemy is also just super annoying. It constantly goes underground, moves around. I was constantly missing my skills because, you know, it would go underground right when I would tap my skill on Yelan. It was super annoying. I lost a lot of damage from stuff like that. Yeah, super annoying. We do happen to find Lauma here, and she's a super good pickup. We also do end up finding Navia, also another really good pickup. They'll both be really important later on, as you'll see. Going into the next act, we are going to pick the one here with the Ruin Golems, Ruin Guards. And these guys are super easy to kill. There's also another one with Hilichurls that's also super easy, and if you get that one, you should definitely pick that one up too, because they're both just super easy. This one I ended up resetting because I kind of messed up my rotation, so I'm just going to start over from when I restarted, just reset the run. And yeah, I basically just didn't hold Lauma's skill, I didn't hold or press Lauma's skill at the beginning, so I didn't have any Verdant Dew to use her hold skill on the second rotation, which just kind of like bricks the damage. And as you'll see here, the damage does go up a pretty significant amount just from the hold skill. You're gonna see like 300k in there, and yeah, that's big damage, and that's what we like to see. That's a nice 35-second clear. And we decide to pick up Fischl here, super standard, and we always go for that supercharged beam on the right. Always pick up that supercharged beam when you're leveling up your electrocharged reactions. We're going to pick up Yaimiko here, and I think we end up going and trying out this one right here because we need more characters, I forget what I decided. I think I decided that I was able to do it at this point. I think that's what I ended up deciding. Yeah, I was like, okay, I have Lauma, I have an Effa. We can definitely do this super easily. So you really want to save Nuvolette and a Neffa for this point, because Nuvolette's just constant damage is super valuable here, and you'll see that I just take down waves and waves of these guys, and I'm already finished, and there's a minute left, you know, which is just super valuable. Just getting this done easily and out of the way. I didn't even do the rotation properly, it looks like. Lauma, I didn't use her skill at the beginning, which, you know, is, in my opinion, kind of a little bit of a throw. But everything's going down pretty quick. 13 out of 17 of the enemies, and we're at 1 minute. And right here, this is the last enemy, and they go down, right? Like super, super easy clear. No issues here. If you don't have an Effa, which I think a lot of people will not have an Effa, you're going to want to use Flynn's here, without a doubt. Come in with Flynn's. Flynn's will just annihilate everything anyways. I chose Zhongli here, and I forget who I chose before. I think I went by two. I think I chose Jalonin. That's who I chose. And Jalonin's great. She's going to really help us this run. And we're going to go in with a Yaimiko official. I think I choose Navia here with Zhongli. I think. Yep. That is the team. And basically, we're going to rely on Yaimiko to get that catalyzed reaction going on this boss. You just need an electro character on this one. Otherwise, you're doing no damage. It's just how it is. It's going to keep on going in its defensive state. And as you can see here, I waited to use Navia's skill until that point, and then I'm hitting these pillars. Boss is going down. And then we're resetting our rotation here. I think that this is one of my cleanest rotations in the run. Except for that Yaimiko burst right there. I could have used it after she had 3 pillars up. But I really was rushing to get to Navia because of her front-loaded damage. I wanted to take out the boss as quick as possible. I shouldn't have bursted there. I should have just switched off field to official or something. That would have been a little bit more beneficial. Okay, we're picking up Xingqiu. But yeah, that thing went down without going into a second phase, so that's super good. As for what to go here, there's a couple different enemies that you can fight. And also our second lunar challenge popped up. We're going to ignore that for now, but you really do not want to take on that unicorn thing. The purple unicorn thing, avoid it at all costs. The Bishops are alright, but we're going to refresh as many times as we can. And we really want to get this Triceratops right here. This Triceratops is like the easiest thing, and if you choose the other ones, you'll realize, man, I just kind of, like, I could have done this way quicker if I just gotten the Triceratops. This guy goes down super quick, and you're about to see that. We are going to go, basically all you need is a character that can heal, and I just went with the most, like mediocre characters with Jalonin, and we're not even mediocre, just like, you know, average characters, and it took it down pretty quick. So, you know, super easy. These are high tier 5 stars, but it's like these guys don't actually, like, they're not super impactful anymore in the meta, I'd say, comparatively. But yeah, as you can see, this thing is just getting demolished. 25 seconds in. I don't think it makes it past 30 seconds. Yeah. Sub 30-second clear with 4 stars. And Jalonin. I mean, come on, that's free, you know. As I said earlier, this is kind of where the trick comes in, right? You really want to activate the Geo and Hydro buffs because it'll really help on the 8th act. All right, and you really want the one where it spawns on the enemy, not on you. Because it's more of like a single target-esque ability It'll do a lot of damage. It'll be super helpful for you. And you want to actually upgrade these blessings as much as humanly possible going into Act 8 so that you're able to basically take this thing out super easily, and you'll see that's exactly what happens in this run. Going into this run, I also knew exactly which team I wanted to use. I knew for sure that I wanted to go in with Navia, and the key comes in with Xingqiu and Farina. Farina for the big damage boost, and then obviously Xingqiu is going to give us the healing necessary to activate that passive. Zhongli is also necessary to break that shield. This boss is pretty simple as long as you activate those Geo buffs. They're very crucial. I didn't realize how crucial they were, but look at how much more damage I'm doing because of them. That's a 500k Navia burst right there, which is very nice. And his shield goes up, but we are able to take him out through the shield at 32 seconds, and that's pretty good. But we need to save Farina's last bit of vigor for the final boss, okay? And then we're gonna go in and take on the final, the final lunar challenge. And for this one, basically you need to have an electro character. And that's what I did. And I'm basically trying to think here like, oh, can I get away with doing these enemies? And basically my logic was, no, I can't. And should I upgrade anything? I actually decided against it here. Yep, so I go into the lunar challenge, and I definitely use a Varessa team here. This boss has always been this way, but he's super annoying, and as you can see, I missed one of my skills, which is pretty crucial. I lost a lot of damage from that. So just making sure you're patient, unlike me, and wait to have a proper damage window on the boss where you can fully damage him, or if you are going to use your skill, you know, actually your abilities on him, just walking up to him, even if he ran away, just make sure you're really taking advantage of your damage windows. And so we're basically just trying to kill him before the time runs out. And he just will not stop running away. And we're basically just trying to squeeze out any last little bit of damage. And we managed to get him there. It was a pretty close one. This guy is really tricky. You really got to have the right elements here. I highly recommend just saving Electro character. If you have Flynn's and you go in there, it'll just get mutilated. Yeah, it'll just annihilate it. Clorind is also pretty good. Raiden's pretty good in there. And yeah, at this point, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know which one to take on. And I think I end up deciding on this one right here. Yep, I ended up deciding on the Hounds because they're pretty easy to kill. And I know I get through this one pretty easily with a Raiden team. And Auroron is super helpful here in keeping them like not running all over the place. I actually found him to be incredibly useful against the Hounds, and I'll be using him against the Hounds in the future if I ever have another Imaginarium run. They're all grouped, like look at that. That was super nice. But really you want to be targeting the big guy. And if the other ones aren't there, they won't be taking your hit. And that's just super nice in general. I'm basically getting ready to go away here. Yep. And now we're getting ready to ult again on Raiden. Yeah, super easy. This guy just goes down super quick too. I was kind of shocked at how quick, like this guy went down quick. I was like, whoa. Honestly, there's not a lot of fun ways to do that one. I just randomly chose Beto. I already have all the characters I need to complete the clear. And I basically ended up deciding to opt in for Kujo-Sara, I believe. I believe I picked up Kujo-Sara, yep. And basically what I do for this last stage is a dual DPS team. And it actually ended up working really, really good. I didn't think it would work this well, but it really freaking did. At this point, I'm just like, all right, we got to just You know, this is the stall boss. This is one of the most annoying bosses in the game. If they ever end up putting this in Stygian Onslaught, I would, like, lose my mind. Gosh, I really hope they don't. And yeah, we got him down here. And we just go crazy with our Raiden here. We lead with our Raiden, and then we move into Neuvillette. And it ends up working not too badly. I definitely think that this boss is a real pain in the ass, and there's probably a better way to do him. Like, if you just use if you save all your Hydros for this stage, and like one Electro character like Fischl or something, it'll probably go down super quick. But yeah, I was still able to beat it with 20 seconds remaining, which I think is pretty good. He's kind of a pain to beat, so, you know, we'll take that, and it was a nice little clear there. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Expect a lot more Genshin content in the future. I'm super excited for Nefer and all the other upcoming Nodcry characters. Unfortunately, I did not pull for Flynn's. That's why you didn't see him in this video. I don't plan on pulling him. Unfortunately, I do want to save for Nefer. I'm going to be going all in on her, and I'm super excited. So I will be making a video on that in the near future, and there will be a lot more Wuwa and Genshin content in the future. So I'll see you guys then. Bye!